Oh, we did it. Just went live. Uh-oh. I'm nervous. Haven't been on TV in a couple days. I would highly recommend, by the way, if you're not comfortable with the camera or you're new to YouTube, I would not recommend just signing on, as I just did, with no agenda, with no plan. I just rushed to get on here. So here we are. Your questions, your comments, that's what it's all about. Oh. It's also about this. There we go. I wanted to make sure you heard that. Green Collar Pale Ale. For my buddies at Altamont. Ooh, they hooked it up. I don't even want to... Like, I don't want to finish this can and destroy it. I want to finish this can and keep it. That is pretty cool, isn't it? Brody, if you're watching, hi. Hello, Puck Guy. Young Sharks about to shock the Pacific. I would agree. It's going to be a different vibe around the team. Some heavy-hitting players, don't get me wrong. Some big contracts, but also the young guys are going to have to step up. No doubt. It's been a while. Good to have you back. Hey, I appreciate that. Be kind. I like your name. Andrew saying, OS, bro is tanned. Do I look tanned? I did go swimming today, and I should have been better about sunblock, but I don't think am I crabby looking? Like, do I have the crab effect? All red and then white eyes? Is Patty going to come back, do you think? I think there's a great chance. And you know what's crazy? I did a video not long ago saying that the odds were slim. I didn't think it was going to happen, but obviously the trade away from Toronto happened, and then the buyout in Carolina happened, and the Sharks have some figuring out of themselves to do, but I think Patrick Marleau is on the agenda. Like, it may not be A1 right now, but I think getting to him is going to be a thing. I really do. Again, that's just a gut instinct, but I'm not positive. Not sharing any state secrets here. That's just the way I feel. Andrew, let's start a new podcast, Bros and Beers. Well, I have the beers, and you could be a bro if you want. Do you think the A's would make a move for Trevor Bauer? I really feel like pitching is going to be the most interesting aspect of the trade deadline for the A's. And I've been saying this for a while. Their lineup looks fine. Their offense looks fine. You'd like to think that their rotation can keep it together. I just think that's the area you want to build around. You want to get some security around the rotation. And obviously, you hope that the bullpen can figure out some things that they haven't been able to do so far this season. Should the A's trade for Andrew Kashner? I mean, you know what? I love the fact that everybody, though, is not just looking at the A's and saying, yeah, you know, I see where they're going. I see them, you know, trending in the right direction. Everybody's excited about the A's potentially being buyers this time around. And Just trap music. Ooh, dial tone. No, I'm excited because you're excited about the A's and what they might do to be able to add as the season goes along here. Remember, last year they got Mike Fiers after the non-waiver trade deadline, and so if they were to get something equal to that going into this year's deadline, man, what a big deal that would be. 59.3 equals 4G in 5 minutes. 4 goals in 5 minutes? Are we talking about the Game 7 still? Sharks in Las Vegas? I love it. Tell me the Sharks will never trade me. Hey. I don't know what to tell you. I hope not, but, you know, what can I say? I don't have control over everything. Josh, do you do any gaming? I barely have time to do something like this, to be honest with you. So the answer is no. It's not that I wouldn't enjoy it. It's just that time is of the essence here in 2019. Being a dad, being busy with work. This is my 4th day off in a row, which it's felt great. Now, granted, you guys know I love my job. You know I love the teams I cover. You know I'm fully into this. But you do anything that you love for, like I just did, 11 of the prior 12 days, and you're gonna need a break. You're gonna need a rest and a refresh so that you can come back at it even harder. So hopefully that's what I've been having going on here. I've had going on here. I swear, look, I've had 4 sips already. No, it's not that. It's just that I can't talk. That's the great thing, by the way, about a potential, beers and YouTube segment is that if you guys think that this is taking effect, no, you guys know I'm just bad at broadcasting. I can barely talk without a drink. So there you go. Tell your friends, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube right now, tell somebody else to come check this out. I'd like to get as many people looking at this as possible, just so we can build it for the future. Will MLB lock out in 2021? Man, I hope not. I understand the trends. I understand the both sides of it between owners and players and kind of the direction that things are going. I've got a couple videos coming out in the next few days here about popularity of baseball, not just going to games, but also baseball cards. Whatever happened to baseball cards? It's kind of emblematic of our society. The trend of baseball cards disappearing and the game not being at the apex it once used to be at. So I'll discuss more of that coming up on future videos. AJ saying, dump the track's vocals. It's competing with you. How dare you compete with me? You know what's funny is the fact that it just faded away on its own. I think the Wi-Fi connection is not great for the iPad. It's fine for the YouTube, which is hardwired, but I think the iPad just lost its Wi-Fi. Let's see. Yep. Not coming back. Technology. What's your favorite hockey team? Come on. Who's the next captain for the Sharks? Oh, just did a video on that. I think you guys know the answer to that already, right? I mean, even without looking, even if you didn't see the prior video I put out, check it out, by the way. But you guys know probably who my choice is already. Unpopular opinion: Braun was a big hindrance on the blue line. I don't think so at all. And you know what's crazy is within hours of finding out about that deal, one of the big things I put out there on social was just how underappreciated Justin Braun always was. And not by those on the inside. I just mean from the outside and the bigger picture perspective. There's so many names to look at on that Sharks roster in seasons past. And I feel like Justin Braun and really Vlasic to a large extent, a lot of times too, were overlooked, not taken for granted, but overlooked. And those two guys went up against some of the opponent's best lines and best players. So I certainly wish him the best. And, it's unfortunate for the Sharks that was a part of doing business, was not being able to hang on to him. So Dylan for captain. Hey, Brendan Dillon is an awesome dude. And I think in terms of personality, if people were to suggest that on the team, I don't think anybody in that room would look at him and say, no, he's a bad leader. I think they all think he's a great leader, mostly because he's a great guy. And he does what he has to do on the ice and, with the dressing room. I'm new to your channel, G2 Hyper Hype. I appreciate that. Thanks for checking it out. What are your thoughts about Kevin Labanc and his contract? It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I tweeted, I'm not going to, let me read my tweet to you. That seems stupid, but I felt like I said it concisely. I felt like I said it in a concise manner, and I want to go through this tweet and summarize this first, because it was certainly interesting. Number one, it's a compliment to Kevin that everybody values him more, right? When you look at 1 year, $1 million, a lot of people out there say, I think you're worth more than that. So to Kevin, clearly, the fact that nobody's sitting here saying, oh, yeah, no, the Sharks way overpaid, like that's a compliment to Labanc. Number two, it also says a lot about his patience, especially when you're a young player coming up. And it's hard not to compare yourself, right? Comps are everything in real estate, in contracts with players, You're looking at what other people are doing, what other people are getting, and you're trying to put yourself in line with that. But number three, it also shows, how much belief he has in Doug Wilson for this season, and potentially for something else down the road. I feel like there's a lot of trust there going on. So, yeah, I mean, hey, it's great for the team. It really is great for the team that they can keep a guy who's clearly coming along, clearly one of their emerging scorers, and I think he still has some steps to go. I think he'd probably say that too. Last year was a lot of big strides for Kevin Labanc, and in the end, go back to the Pavelski payback. Who had a point on all 4 of those goals in that 5-minute major penalty? Kevin Labanc, right? So came through in the clutch, and I think, I think it's great that he's back. It's great for, maybe not, the only way it's not great for him is just financially right now that he's not back. Any other and every other way, it's great that he's back. Do you think Hertl will get an A on his jersey soon? It's a potential. He's been, like him or Erik Karlsson. He's been around longer. Tomas has with the Sharks. Karlsson's already been a captain with Ottawa. What about Joe Thornton? What about, Patrick Marleau? I don't think Patrick Marleau comes back and gets a letter just like that. Although, has he not earned it in the league? I know he went away for a couple years, and I know that was his decision. That one gets interesting to me. But it gets interesting at the same respect. Can you really go wrong? Right? How about Brent Burns? So, you only have so many A's to hand out. And I think that's actually going to be a weird, not a challenge, but just to see who gets them. I'm curious, but it's not like there's a lack of good choices. Alex asking, any likes in the young prospects? Assume you're talking about the Sharks. And, I just think, first off, wasn't able to see the prospects game the other night because I was busy working baseball. It would be unfair for me to comment that far. My level of knowledge and understanding of the big picture and everything else, it's not as deep as it needs to be right now on that topic. I'm going with my new theme here, everybody. In sports, in covering sports, it's okay sometimes to say, I don't know. I can't give you the best answer. I've heard things, I've seen things, haven't been able to put it all together. I feel like too many times nowadays, people make stuff up. They throw together a hot take just to get your ears perked up. I'm not doing that anymore. Not doing it. Why not Vlasic as a captain over Couture? That's a good question. Heck, we were talking about the A's earlier. How about Vlasic? Easily for an A. I just feel like there's something about Logan and the way that he speaks, that he delivers a message, win or lose or draw in the case of a shootout. I just think it's not to say like Vlasic is a leader. Couture has just a different flavor of leadership than Vlasic does. That's all. And it's not to say that 44 couldn't be a captain. This reminds me so much of when the Sharks had those 4 alternates that last year before Pavelski took over the captaincy. And, going into that year when Pete came in, it was like, okay, if this isn't Pavelski, I'd be shocked. So it just kind of has that favoritism angle leaning towards number 39. Any other? So there's a lot of hockey questions on here, and that's okay. I'll go deeper into those if you guys want. I don't want to overshadow any A's questions because, again, Green Collar Pale Ale from Altamont. Just picked these up 2 days ago. This is a tall can, by the way. I like the fact that it's 5.5% ABV. I believe that's alcohol by volume. Boy, I'm going to get in trouble for I don't even know what that stands for. Oh, this is 1 pint. This is 16 ounces. I know. How stupid do I look? It's like I'm looking at my first beer or something. It's amazing because I guess I mean, I knew it was a taller can. I guess I never realized that's a pint full. But that's perfect. That's a perfect serving for doing this YouTube stream. And you know what? Nobody out there can say, oh, Brody's getting hammered on YouTube. That's not the case. At least that's not the case right now. But it's just, it's a fun way to hang out, have a beer, and talk with you guys, or respond to you guys, I should say. Treston Goodwin, why is hockey better than baseball? Oh, come on. That's like saying, why is your right arm better than your left arm, or your dog better than your cat? I mean, okay, maybe that one's obvious. I love all animals. I love dogs. No, I don't think they're different. And I feel, what's crazy though? Like, I will get so excited when October rolls around, and especially for the first two Sharks games against Las Vegas. Oh my goodness, that is going to be sick. And I wish though, I think the Sharks in Las Vegas, I think they play all of their games between October, November, and December. It's like 4 or 5 total meetings this year. 5, 4. Anyway, but they play all these games before Christmas, in fact. So they don't separate, or they don't stretch it out in the long run. They play all these games head to head. The league clearly wanted to have this rivalry manifest like full peak right off the bat. The home and home series is nuts to start off the season. But anyway, going back to my point, it's amazing how when baseball season is over at whatever point, but even when baseball season is nearing the end and that first breath of fall air rolls around, man, I get so excited for hockey season. Man, I miss this. And the first couple pre and post game shows that we do to cover games, I just, oh my gosh, it just hits me like a wave of cold water on a hot day. I'm like, oh, this is the best. At the same time, when baseball season rolls around, and really it's usually when I make the trip to spring training, and it's February and it's cold and rainy in the Bay Area, fly down to Phoenix, and out there in Mesa, like you get a feel of that sun, and you hear the crack of the bat, and you start to hear the spikes of cleats, and you're like, oh man, like baseball season is the best. So I just go back and forth. Again, I probably didn't need to expand on that, but yeah, I just like one season, and I love this job that one leads into the other, and they go back and forth, and I'd probably be bored if I didn't have the year-round aspect of it. Ricardo Dominguez, football. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't watch much football last year, almost at all. Sundays were generally an off day for me. And you're thinking, well, you cover sports. True. And it's not to say that I didn't keep up to date with things. It's just that, I have a family, I have a young one. On Sundays, if that's my day off, I'm going to spend time with him and my wife. And so it's a rough timing, to be honest with you. So, and you know what? There are, if it were my job, I'd be all over it. But there are enough people out there who cover football and tweet about it and make content about it. So I don't feel this huge responsibility to be all in your face about football. I want to promote the A's. I want to promote the Sharks. That's kind of my focus. Benjamin, San Francisco 49ers. Well, you know what? Honestly, Benjamin, clearly, because it's not the Las Vegas Raiders who are going to play in Oakland this fall and ruin the diamond again. How about this? Joseph. Hi, Brody. I'm from Australia and only discovered you and Curtis this year as I've started streaming Sharks games. Congratulations, Joseph. Hopefully, legally. Whatever. I mean, I don't know how else you do it in Australia, but why is Curtis so rude to you all the time when you really carry him on the shows? Ooh, burn. Joseph, that's hilarious. Hey, look, I think you probably know this, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, where, I mean, if it's true that you're from Australia and you're really just tuning in, like he and I have this long-standing chirping thing. We go back and forth, and none of it's real. I don't think. I don't think. But no, we like to have fun and give each other a hard time. So if he's rude to me, maybe you haven't seen the parts where I've been rude to him. I mean, I've literally said on TV, wait, you played for the Sharks too? So he did twice. Or one time he goes, I played on the power play. I'm like, wait a second. You were never on a team's power play in the NHL. Well, he was. So, again, thanks for watching, Joseph. I really appreciate that, especially from a whole different continent. But Travis Lincoln calling me a cat hater. Look, I just said I loved dogs a little bit more. It's as simple as that. Ooh, did I get the music back here? It's back. Hang on. Music's back. Oh, no, it's not. I don't know what's happening there. It just stops. I think it's the Wi-Fi connection out here. See, I can also do these effects as well. I'm standing in a big empty room. How does it sound in here? Or how about this one? Hello there. I am a robot. I am on YouTube. I am about to crash your system. It's not good, is it? All right. Is that a Brody burner account? You know what? Was there a college football player who got caught like tweeting from his own account when he meant to be on his burner account recently? Is it that's why you just don't have a burner account. But it really does make me wonder, quite honestly, when I hear from somebody that is upset with something for some reason, legitimate or not, and then I hear that same complaint from another person and just that other person, I honestly wonder if it's the same individual from two totally different accounts. And then sometimes I'm like, it might be fun for me to have a burner account and not even to tweet at myself. That's stupid. But, normally I just keep it low key on the social. And there are things I see and I disagree with, but I rarely comment on anything. I'll comment to people that if you comment me with something smart or intelligent or really honest, I'll reply to you. But a lot of times, well, number one, I don't have all the time, but if I have the time and there's something worthwhile, I'll respond to it. A lot of times I just can't though. Otherwise it becomes like a full-time responsibility. And then if I respond to 10 people today, 10 people tomorrow want it. And, so anyway, long story short, the burner thing. I mean, that is it's so crazy that some people have that. And then they use it to talk themselves up anonymously. It's amazing. Joseph, love your work. Yes, I bought an NHL TV pass. Oh, nice. You watch games. So Joseph, you're doing this legally and honestly. Congratulations. Thank you very much. You guys like the robot voice or what? Here's a great question. Do you sometimes regret your name, Brody Brazil? Hang on. Wait for it. You guys can hear that echo, right? I mean, if you can't, I'm doing this for nothing. Hello? I'm in an empty room. No, so my name, look, the Brazil part was not chosen. That's just been passed on and on. But the Brody part, you ever hear of the quarterback John Brody of the San Francisco 49ers? There you go. That's my namesake. So sports was kind of there from the beginning for me. No, you know what? I don't regret it. It's definitely unique. People spell it wrong. They think it's a stage name. If I were to show you so here's the other conversation. I've told people, well, I'll show you my driver's license. It has Brody Brazil on it. And they say, oh, well, you could have got your name changed. True. Okay, I'll show you my birth certificate. I can produce that. And in fact, maybe I should for future reference. But no, it was unique growing up. Didn't get teased a whole bunch. I mean, there are some variations which you can use against me, but no, it's, it kind of fits perfectly for this job, to be frank. Other than Chappie, Who did you want to see in the All-Star game? I appreciate, Lizette, that question. And before anything else, before I name another name, and I guess there's probably two names, but one specifically. Before I talk about that, it was so cool to see Liam Hendriks in that All-Star game. 4 batters, 3 strikeouts, and a Blackmon homer. Okay. The homer was dynamic. Like, everybody saw that thing leave the yard. But for Liam to get 3 strikeouts, even for Liam to be there, it's such a cool story. You know, about a year ago, this guy was in AAA, had just been DFA'd, basically discarded by the A's. And now, this season, promoted to closer as of recently, and named to the All-Star team. Yeah, as a reserve, but he got in there and participated, looked good. I mean, just to be part of the festivities. You know, to me, that's what the All-Star game is all about. And, you know, I got as much as Chapman completely deserved it, right? And I felt like that was redeeming to see him there with that group and be in the home run derby. All of that was perfect. It was equally perfect to have a guy also like Liam Hendriks there. That was phenomenal. The other two I want to talk about, Marcus Semien, and it's actually not Matt Olson. It's actually Josh Phegley. Now, Matt Olson he has been crushing it ever since coming back in early May. He did miss a month with the broken hamate bone, and he had a good last season. I don't want to take that away. Also, I don't know how you do it at home, but the way I look at an All-Star team is what the player did in the second half of last year, right, since the last All-Star game, and included the first half of this year. Some people have told me that the All-Star team is only a first-half All-Star team. I don't buy that. I think it should be a reflection of last year, the second half, this season, the first half. But I feel like Josh Phegley had a real, well, let's see, then again, I'm working against myself there because, you know, it was not his deal last year, and maybe this is a first-half thing for him. So, okay, Phegley or Olson on the back burner, but Marcus Semien on the front burner. He had a really good second half of last season and has had a really good, especially defensive first half of this season. So if I could have added one more name in there, it would have been the A's shortstop, Marcus Semien. Tim Moffitt, really enjoy your work from here in Thailand. Are you kidding me? So wait a second. This live stream is reaching not only Australia tonight, or it's tomorrow for you right now, it's also reaching Thailand? Like I'm in Thailand right now? That is sick. Hang on. Gotta do something else here. Like, what's this effect? This one isn't that good. I am in Thailand right now. I am a robot. Thailand. I gotta get this music going again. I feel like it. Oh. This is so frustrating. Why is this not working? Let me try and change the Wi-Fi network here. See if that fixes it. So frustrating. Why am I obsessed with the Lonely Island? Look, I tweet a lot about the bash. Let's bash. You know, and I would play it here, but I don't want to get this video copyright busted. The fact that there's popular music right now out there about Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire is awesome. And like, I talked to Bob Melvin about this, and I don't know that he fully understood the context, but I have noticed, and I bet you guys have noticed too, in the last 6-7 weeks since that documentary, whatever you want to call it, on Netflix came out, the players on the team have been bashing more. Right after they homer, that's when their arms go up, like we about to drink from a cup. I know you guys know. I know you guys have noticed that. So, and yeah, it is hilarious. Right, I changed my Wi-Fi network, and it's still not going. Come on, iTunes. By the way, did you guys hear that? Oh, forget it. It's off. Did you guys hear they're actually taking iTunes away from the new Mac operating system? I guess they're separating the apps to be similar as to what's on the iPhone. That's crazy. iTunes has been a staple for basically as long as I've ever had a Mac. I switched to Apple. Well, I've always used Apple, especially at work, especially for editing. From the 90s. I mean, gosh, I had an Apple 2GS way back in the day. But I bought my own Apple in 2001, and I've been a Mac owner ever since. So Brody's tearing up a bit. Who's tearing up? Wait, what have I? I'm only getting sad that the music's not playing. Oh, this is sick. Alex, hey Brody, greetings from Erie, Pennsylvania. So I mean, we are on the East Coast. We're in the Pacific Ocean. We're across the Pacific. I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it on Instagram, but do you frequent, and how do you say this, R-San Jose Sharks? Do I visit the Sharks, is it called a Reddit? It's not a Reddit page. The Sharks Reddit. Yes, I do. I haven't been there in a while, and I'll tell you specifically why I go there. And I just want to see what is popular among Sharks fans. There's also some good content ideas there. If people are talking about something, maybe on the show that night, it's something we'll want to discuss. So, look, I'm not using it for like a source of information, but sometimes it can be. I'm not blind to it. But what I'm really using it for is to see a gauge of interest, and I want to build. Not everything, but I want to build enough of a case and a foundation of maybe stuff that we should be doing on TV or I should be doing on social based on what other people are talking about. Oh, subreddit. That's right. It's the Sharks subreddit. And again, I apologize because just my lingo on that is not where it should be, right? Like I know it's not a Twitter page, it's a Twitter account or an Instagram account or IG. Subreddit. I'm sorry. Feel bad about that. Treston repping Sharks territory here in Oregon. I appreciate that. Brodalicious Brazil. Did Doug Wilson put too many eggs in one basket with the Erik Karlsson deal? It's the way I break this down is that another team might have even paid Karlsson more than the Sharks did. Somebody else might have given him $12 million a year. Sharks didn't give him that much. They gave him close to that much. If you wanted him, this was how you were going to have to keep him. And it's a salary cap era, and I understand that the price has already been paid, so to speak, by losing Joe Pavelski and losing Justin Braun. But, hey, I just don't. Yeah, you're going to have to give up that much, and so I don't think you can look at it in a sense of committing too much to one player. And I think here's the other thing. We saw him in so many different lights last season. We saw him struggle to adjust. We saw him really succeed for a couple months. Then we saw him struggling with an injury, and then we saw him come back in the playoffs, and I think he had 16 points in 19 games on basically one leg. So, I would before we start to make any type of judgments, and it's crazy. We've seen him already for a full season plus playoffs, all the way to the conference finals. But I don't really know that we've seen him as he's going to be for years into this pretty long-term contract. I just really don't. Oh, somebody else, you know what? I might have. Oh, good morning from Germany. Kessie X33. Hello from Germany. So this is amazing. We're in Germany tomorrow morning. We're in Thailand right now. We're in Australia. This is sick. This is really sick. That's, to me, I got to tell you, broadcasting from my house across the globe, it's just It's a great time to be doing this in 2019. All in HD, by the way. Not like that matters to you, but it's a perk. Oh, Jessica. I know Jessica's a frequent viewer. You're very late. You had school homework and laundry. You'll catch the replay. Hey, I appreciate that. And I popped out of nowhere here, just brought my green collar along. And you know what? On that note, I have already been on for 35 minutes. So I'll do a solid 5 more minutes. And if you're wondering, this thing's only like maybe 2/3 gone. But it's good because my voice and my throat is a little bit parched right now. So this will help me in the final 5 minutes. Who do you think will win the next cup? Well, I mean, did anybody predict the St. Louis Blues? Last place, basically at the start of this calendar year, and then 6 months later, lifting the Stanley Cup. Worst record in the NHL. Is it January 3rd, 1st or 3rd? So I think anybody that has to make a prediction for the Cup next year had better go back and reflect on that for a second. So I'm not, you know what? When somebody asks me that same question, I'll say, nope, not answering that one. All right. What else will the Sharks do? Gary with the good question. To me, I think they're still looking at some other last options in terms of before Thornton and Marleau. But I'm telling you, at this point and based on what they'd be coming back for and the roles that they'll fill, and that's the other thing. Some people were detractors about having Patrick Marleau back, but it's in the same way that Joe Thornton is not. He's a Hall of Famer. Patrick Marleau probably in that same regard, but it doesn't mean these guys are playing top line minutes. They might be on the power play, should be, but you understand what I'm saying? To get these guys for the value they'll provide at likely the cost they'll come back for, you want these guys in their leadership and their experience. So I think those things are down the road in the near term. Like they're not going to wait much longer to do all this stuff. But I just think it's a short term thing. And I'll tell you what. Do you think? I mean, Joe Thornton has signed on the last 2 years on his birthday, July 2nd. We've already passed that now. By tomorrow's going to be 10 days. Do you think there's a reason that Joe Thornton hasn't signed yet? Do you think he might sign on the same day as somebody else? Do you think? At the same time? So I think that's going to happen. That'd be my prediction. Patty and Joe sign similar, if not identical, contracts on the same day in the near future. 1 year, but similar contracts. A lot of people talking about Patty and Joe now that I've mentioned it. Jones or Dell has to go. Brody, it's 4.3%. No, this is it's 5.5% Brazil. Yeah, there you go. No, everybody, and everybody wants to talk about goaltending all over again. Was it perfect last regular season? Absolutely not. Was the team's play defensively great last season? Absolutely not. Was Martin Jones lights out last playoffs after round 1, game 4? Yeah. Excuse me. For about the last 16 games of the playoffs. So, he was good for game 1. He just was bad for games 2, 3, and 4. And the team was bad for 2, 3, and 4. But Martin Jones put the Sharks in situations to win in those final 16 efforts. And he also sometimes made them look better than they actually were. He stole a few games, or he at least stole the opportunity for a few games for the Sharks in those last playoffs. So until somebody's going to show me different, that there's a better option or you think there's a better idea out there, it's crazy that we're going back to that conversation based on how one player, and it was a team effort, but one player specifically in Jones turned it around as dramatically as he did and was consistent as could be after after the worst of the struggles, was one of the strongest. So, all right. We're like 5 seconds away from 40 minutes. So I just want to say I appreciate it, everybody. If you missed some of this, if you just tuned in the last, 5-10 minutes, go back to the beginning, go back and watch the replay, because obviously that was some of my strongest work. I want to thank everybody at Altamont Beer Works. And I've got a few more of these. Maui Wowie, a triple IPA. Do you dare me to come on here and have a triple IPA? I mean, this was a pale ale at 5.5%. I think that triple IPA is like 11%. Like, that could get dangerous. I'd forget how to do this. So, anyway, but bring back the All-Star John Scott. That's a classic comment. And on that note, I appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? I saw the comment to do more of these. I'll try and do some more. Baseball season's a little bit rough just because it's late nights and almost every night, and I don't have these prime opportunities, but I thought tonight would be good. So I appreciate it. Don't thank me. I thank you. And I'd play it out with some music, but instead I'll just do my tagline. Until next time, I'm Brody Brazil, and yes, that is my real name. Oh, wait a second. Can I just quickly tell you about some things? Hit me up on Twitter at BrodyNBCS. Instagram, same handle. Check me out. I've been working hard on the gram. Oh, yeah, the podcast. iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. And yeah, if you like this video, thumbs up. Or also, if you're not subscribing to the channel already, come on, please, I beg you. All right, now, that's it for real. See ya. Have a good night. Okay. I'm back on for one quick second. Sorry, the headphones are backward. I'm not going to sing a song, but I will read you a Goodnight story, just like I would do to my son. All right, you guys ready for this? You guys hyped for this? See, I bet you a lot of people already tuned out, but you didn't. So you get this. In a great green room, tucked away in a bed, is a little bunny. Good night, room. Good night, moon. Wait a second. That's not. What am I reading off? That's not the right. Wait, hang on. Try this again. In a great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of a cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs, and 2 little kittens, and a pair of mittens, and a little toy house, and a young mouse, and a comb. Hang on, a little more bass. And a comb, and a brush, and a bowl full of mush, and a quiet old lady who was whispering, hush. Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow, jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens. Good night, mittens. Good night, clocks. Good night, socks. Good night, little house. Good night, mouse. Good night, comb. Good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. Good night to the little old lady, whispering hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. Okay. So, come on. Let me check the comments. Ah. There you go. All right. Yeah, I did A's talk earlier. All right. Now I'm done. See ya.